You have front row tickets with backstage access to a Her concert. But Bruno Mars just walked into your shop. You going to the concert? Yes, no, sorry, maybe. It's Bruno now. Bruno don't even get tattooed.
What time is the concert?
What's going on, guys? I am your host, Dee Boogie Brown, and we are here with Creative Chronicles podcast. First off, I want to thank everyone for tuning in for this episode. I have a special guest today. Her name goes by Doll. Y'all give it up for Doll. Look, how you feeling today, Doll?
I'm doing good.
Hey, look. Now, you told me you from the G.
Yeah.
Where's the G?
Gary, Indiana.
Gary, Indiana.
219.
Look, it's 219, huh? You know who else from the G? Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
We can't just be known just for that.
Michael Jackson, the greatest of all time.
True, but that's all we got.
No, we got some other people from...
Name them.
So, Dial, it is a pleasure to have you here. Tell me a little bit about your tattoo business out here. I've heard great things already here in Dallas about your tattoo business. First off, before we even get into that, congratulations on your business. So let's get into your story. So tell us a little bit about your tattoo business here in Dallas, Texas.
Well, I was DFW's first Black female-owned tattoo shop out here, and that pretty much took off from there. Like, it got a lot of eyes on me. It got a lot of eyes on my artists, on my business. So it was really a big journey and a big deal for me at the time frame. It was a lot of reaching out and interviews and everything like that when it came to opening my shop. So it took off and it's been a success since.
Oh,
like, it's been a big deal.
So when I hear that story, it's so inspirational. The work and the grind is what stands out in my mind. Could you tell us a little bit about some of the things that you had to do to even achieve all of these things?
The long hours, sweat, blood, and tears. It was a lot that went into it. Even before my doors was even open, it was a lot of late nights working, just up being creative, working late, coming home late. It was a lot that went into it, but it paid off.
Absolutely, absolutely. Doll, I think that is so amazing how you talk about the long hours, the sacrifice, and the grind. So let's get into a little bit of your past, your history, and what created this boss that I see right in front of me. So tell me a little bit about your childhood growing up in Gary, Indiana.
Honestly, being in Gary, you really just had to find your own outlet because it was really easy to get sucked into what was going on in Gary. So it's like you just had to find your own lane and just maintain it and not be easily influenced. So I used to draw a lot as a little girl. I always had those notebooks, little sketch pads and doodles and everything like that. So it was like I took to drawing as my outlet. It was just my creative space and just my way to zone out. And even now, tattooing is just my way to zone out and be my outlet, especially when there's a lot going on around me. It's still my outlet to this day.
Oh my goodness, I love it. So growing up in Gary, and you said that was your outlet. So tell me a little bit about your surroundings, your household. And if you like, you don't have to get too deep, but the thing is, tell me a little bit about your household, your siblings, and your upbringing.
Well, my upbringing, it was, I guess, pretty normal for the area. Like you didn't have the best, you didn't have a lot, but you just made do with what you had. I have two younger brothers and an older sister that I lived with, and then I was with my mom and my stepdad growing up.
Absolutely. What did your parents do, if I may ask, as far as a profession?
Well, I know my stepdad was doing like a lot of different jobs when I was growing up. I don't remember all of them, but I remember some. I know some was working for the sanitation district, and then some he owned his own cleaner business back home. My mom, she was just a stay-at-home wife, took care of home, cook, clean, stuff like that. So she worked off and on, but she didn't really have like steady job like he did. He was the provider.
Absolutely. So where do you think the creativeness came from? Was it something that just kind of grew inside of yourself and that you cultivated on your own, or did you have like an influence to draw by somebody in your family?
No, it was just within, I guess, because I didn't have anybody creative around me. I was that creative person. So it was everything that I did, it was kind of like all eyes on me, kind of, because I didn't have that creative like inspiration growing up. It just, like, it was just there.
Oh man. So did people know that you were this good, or was your art just something you kind of kept to yourself?
No, people knew, especially when I was in like art class in school. I was that kid doing all the little drawing competitions to win first place in class. So I was known for drawing and drawing stuff for people. So people knew.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So when people like really got a grasp on, oh, Doll is amazing at drawing, did you start tattooing or did that like come later in the career?
It came way later.
You were older when you started tattooing. Okay, so let's bring it back before we get into that. So as far as like adolescence and high school years, so you say you used to draw a lot, that was your outlet and things like that. What was your vision in high school as far as where you wanted to take drawing, or just in general, what did you want to do as a profession in high school?
Honestly, it had nothing to do with art or being a tattoo artist, any of that. I wanted to be a truck driver or a real estate agent.
Truck driver or real estate agent.
And I have my CDL now to this day. So I have it, I just don't use it. But tattooing didn't even cross my mind.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's so interesting. So, all right, so let's roll it back. So, CDL, right? You wanted to be a truck driver. What inspired you, even at that time, to want to be a truck driver? Like, what was like the interest there?
Honestly, it was just driving on the highways back home, just seeing the big trucks. I just had an interest in the big trucks. I was that kid in the window asking them to blow their horn, doing a little arm gesture. That was me. I don't know why, I just always liked them.
Yeah. So, and then were you going to be driving the truck?
Yeah. I actually drove the trucks.
You drove the trucks?
Yeah.
I know that's right. Look. Y'all, ladies is like, the guys, look, y'all better catch up. Ladies taking all y'all jobs now. So the thing is, like, so I want to roll it back even to real estate. Was the interest in real estate just like an interest in selling, or did you like, or were you just like, you know what, I just want to, make money? Like,
I love numbers. Like I take to math a lot. I got all the way up to pre-cal in school. Nice. So I love the numbers and just everything that went behind real estate, the design, all of that stuff. So it was multiple things that made me want to be a real estate agent.
Oh man, that's amazing. That's amazing. So even with the art, there was not one time where it crossed your mind like, I want to do this full time. I want to sell my art. I want to, even like paintings and things like that.
It was strictly an outlet.
That's interesting. That is so good. So if you had a moment to talk to your younger self, what would you say in high school?
That's kind of a deep one. Don't be easily influenced. Because I was one of those easily influenced kids. That's how I had children early. It was easy.
How early, if I may ask?
I ended up pregnant at 14, but I had her at 15. Yeah.
So let's talk about your blessing at 15. Yeah. What was that like being a young mother?
It was really difficult. I didn't have that village. It was really hard. I didn't have a support system like I would have liked, but I made it through. So it was just all a learning experience with it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Do you feel like it made you stronger?
Absolutely. Because it just built that, whereas like, I got to make it on my own. I got to get to it. Otherwise, it ain't going to come to me. So it started that grind early, basically.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And the thing is, it's such an inspiration because a lot of women that have kids young, they feel like their lives are over.
Give up.
They give up. They give up. They just settle, and that's whatever they have is what they have, and they've put all their energy and focus into just raising that child. So I commend you for still chasing your dreams while raising your kids.
Yep, a lot of people give up on their dreams because they had children.
Absolutely. So let's roll it back. So let's talk about that transition from CDL trucking, right? Big girl truck driving to tattooing.
Honestly, I just jumped headfirst into it. I went with a cousin to get her tattoo done, and I saw the process from start to finish, from the drawing to putting the stencil on, to how to apply the stencil, setting up the machine, all of that. Like, I just saw it from start to finish, and when it was finished, it was a pretty dope piece. It was a piece that she got contributed to my auntie. And I just wondered if I can do it. Like, I had thought about it for a while before I actually made the purchase, because then I didn't have money just sitting around and just buy stuff.
Right.
So I had to really make sure if I bought it, I was gonna use it.
Yeah.
So I bought the machine, thought on it, and I bought it, and then I just started tattooing. I actually did my very first tattoo on myself, and I did it on my thigh.
You did on your thigh?
Yeah, I still have it to this day. I thought about revamping it a few times to make it look better. I'm like, this is where I started. This is the very first thing that I ever did on skin.
That's interesting. On yourself?
Upside down on my mama's couch. Because I freehanded on my leg, but I did it to where anybody looking at me is your view instead of mine.
Oh.
So I drew it upside down and I tattooed it upside down.
And what is the piece? What is the?
It's flowers and butterflies.
That's dope. That's dope. And how did it come out?
Now, looking at it, I'm like, I don't know what the hell I thought I was doing. But then I was proud of that piece. It's what really got me started, because when I did that piece, a lot of people around Gary saw it and they're like, well, you gotta tap me next, you gotta tap me next. So it got me started. It made me take off.
That was the start piece.
Yeah.
Don't ever change it. Don't
I don't
ever
think I
change
am.
it. No, don't revamp
I
it.
am.
Don't revamp it. I know you have plenty of tattoo artists that can do amazing things too.
Yeah.
Don't revamp it. That is an amazing story. That is an amazing story. So I want to go into now. All right. So now we into the tattooing. You're growing in your brand. All right. Tell me about the transition from Gary to Dallas.
It was a little bit of a journey, because when I left Gary, I actually went to Kansas first.
Okay.
I was an Army wife. I was married to somebody in the Army.
Okay.
And then we left Kansas in 2016, then that's when we moved here. And the transition was completely different. Like, it's nothing like back home out here.
Yeah.
Like, I would say this is legit my second home away from home. I don't see myself moving from here or from this area because of the startup that it gave me.
Right.
It definitely taught me a lot. It's given me a lot. And I don't have any issues putting back into it, because this is where it all started.
That's fine.
So this is my second home away from home.
So what made you decide to move from Kansas? Okay, let's bring it back. Let's just go ahead and get all the way into it. What made you move from your hometown, from the nest? What made you move from Gary?
Just wanting to get away. I wanted a different scenery, different environment. I didn't feel like I was growing there, especially with me having 2 kids, because I actually had 2 kids by the time I graduated high school.
So by the time you were 18, you had 2
I had
blessings.
2.
Okay.
So it's like, at this point, I'm not living for me no more. I need to leave. I need to get them in a better surround. I wanted them in better schools and everything like that. So I ended up meeting somebody, and then we hit it off, got married, and then I moved to Kansas with him to his base.
All right, so let's talk about you getting rooted in Dallas. What was that like?
It was pretty hard at first, because coming out here is no family. I didn't have like really nobody to like fall back on when I came out here. It was like I had to get it, or otherwise I was going back home.
Right.
So it was pretty tough at first, but I would say like by year 2 or 3, I had got the hang up and I had got my swing to where I knew what I was gonna do and where my path was going.
So were you still trucking at this time? Or was it full tattoo when you hit Dallas?
No, it was always off and on with tattooing when I first moved here. I've always had some kind of job while I was tattooing. It was like tattooing was my hobby. I never made it my priority. So I've always had some kind of job, and I was trucking while I was tattooing.
Absolutely.
But I always made that job my first priority, and then tattooing was on the back end.
Oh.
Yeah.
So tattooing wasn't your breadwinner. Ah, that is
Because I was in a whole new area and I didn't know nobody. I didn't have no clients. I didn't know where to start.
Yeah.
I tried to get into shops. They used to tell me no because I wasn't good enough. So it was
Wasn't
hard.
good enough?
Yeah, because I didn't take an apprenticeship. I taught myself. So I wasn't up to their speed, I guess, to be in a shop. So they're like, no, you got a lot of work to do before you can come in the shop.
That's interesting.
Yeah, so I got denied a lot before I actually got into a shop.
So they were looking at it like you were kind of doing it the non-traditional way.
Right.
And they weren't giving you, like the gatekeepers wasn't giving you that in.
Exactly.
That's interesting. That's so interesting. And I feel like just like anyone else that's probably watching this, they're motivated by that. Because the thing is, rules are just rules.
Right.
You know, like they're meant to be bent and broken.
Exactly.
So that's good that you didn't stop. That didn't stop you.
No, I stopped the tradition.
Exactly. Exactly. So that's dope. So I want to go into Dallas. You're growing. You're getting a clientele. Your name is buzzing. What did that look like and what did that feel like at that time? Was it almost like, all right, I can quit trucking now? Or were you still trucking even though your name was like buzzing? You're like, okay, maybe I can't. Were you starting to believe that tattooing was your thing finally at this point? What did that look like? Still?
No.
Even when your name was buzzing?
My name actually wasn't buzzing yet when I stopped trucking. I had stopped working in October of 2019 doing my trucking job, and at that point I'm like, tattooing always been around. No matter what I did, it was always there.
Right.
So I'm like, at this point, I think I need to take it serious. I don't need to go into another job that I'm probably not gonna keep. And that's when I started tattooing full time, just out of my house or wherever I can get tattoos done at. And then that's when it took off. When I actually put all my time and effort into it is when it took off. And I stopped prioritizing those other jobs.
Oh my
That's
goodness.
when it took off.
So that was like your leap of faith because you was
Basically.
forced into it. You was kind of like pushed out there.
Basically, yeah.
Oh my goodness. And at this time, how many blessings do you have at this time when you're doing this out of your house?
I had 4 kids by the time I started doing it out of my house.
That is so,
Yeah.
you know what? That is so inspiring to your kids, watching mommy get
Work and
down and
grind,
do,
yep.
man, what?
Yep.
Your kid's gonna be amazing. That's the best teaching is seeing
Yeah,
it.
visual.
Exactly. So I commend you for that. So now, all right, so let's go ahead and speed it up, right? So today, present day, tell me a little bit about this journey. I know you just opened up a shop and you're winning these awards. Tell us a little bit about your journey of who Dal is today.
It's an emotional one. It was definitely a hard one. Like, it took a lot of hard work to get here. It took a lot of meeting different people and going through different artists, like coming and going out of my shop to get where I am. Because now I have all females in my shop, so
okay, now.
it's like a power zone for us, kind of, because we all feed off each other, we all learn from each other, we take lessons, all of that. Like, nobody is bigger than nobody in my shop. Even I take pointers from my artists, and I'm head honcho in there.
Absolutely.
So it was definitely a journey getting where I was. I had to meet a lot of people, I had to lose a lot of people. It was even a point where I didn't have not one artist in my shop. It was just strictly me for a couple months, because I had to just clean house and I didn't have anybody under me.
Wow.
So I've started from rock bottom, even having my shop, and just had to rebuild. And now I have a great team under me now. Like, I love everybody in my shop.
Absolutely.
And I wouldn't replace them for anybody. Like,
Absolutely.
praying that they stay long term, but I have a pretty good team now, and I love everybody in there.
Absolutely. So you said quite a few different things. One thing that stuck out to me is that you still take pointers. That's a problem with a lot of people in the creative community. They feel like when they get up here, they don't need to listen. Exactly, because the people down here, they know the trends, they're closer to the streets. So it's good to always soak up game. Be a sponge forever. I tell people, I'm forever a student.
It's something I can learn from you.
Absolutely. So that right there is what makes bosses. You see what I'm saying? Another thing you said you did, and you kind of skipped over it because you're so humble, I love it, but you skipped over it. You ran your shop for 2 months by yourself. That means you were taking
one artist.
You was taking appointments, you was taking walk-ins. People don't even understand how much work that is.
Yeah.
That means you was there all day.
All day, with my kids at home waiting for me to come home.
I know that's right. I know that's right. So all right, before we go to break, tell people what's next for Dal. Tell people what's next.
Well, I do have my Tattoo Expo that is coming March 30th and 31st. I will be at Dallas Market Hall Center with it, and we will be there for 2 days. It'll be a 2-day event. We will have some of y'all favorite artists out there that you may have wanted to meet from Atlanta, New York, Chicago. I plan for them to be coming from all over. So if y'all in the area around March 30th, 31st, come to Dallas Market Hall, because it'll be Art Legends Tattoo Expo going on.
Girl, keep doing your thing, all right?
Thank you.
Keep doing your thing. All right, so with that being said, look, we are going to take a break. We got to give some love to our sponsor, Wandar. Look, this interview is fire, y'all. We about to be right back. I am your host, Dee Boogie Brown, and this is Creative Chronicles. See y'all in a bit.
The Wandar app is a user-friendly mobile application that uses geolocation to connect clients with creatives in your community. Each creative professional has their own user profile showcasing rates, reviews, availability, and a portfolio of their past projects. Wandar, connecting clients with creatives in your community.
Welcome back, guys. I'm your host, Dee Boogie Brown, here with Creative Chronicles, and you just seen that our sponsor, Wandar, just had that beautiful commercial. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Make sure you guys subscribe, download, and just follow the app entirely. You never know what you're gonna get. Wandar, connecting creatives with clients in your community. Dal, how do you like Wandar?
I actually love it because I didn't have a platform to use to book clients and everything on. I was just doing it by DMs or text messages. So it's a pretty dope app so far. You can do everything through it. You can communicate, price check, all of that good stuff, and it's working out so far.
Absolutely. Oh my goodness. Y'all heard it first. She just told y'all. Make sure y'all download it. Coming from Dal. So Dal, let's jump into it. You brought some of those fun toys here that make a lot of noise and give people anxiety. So yeah, go ahead and run through some of the things that you brought here for us today.
Well, I have my coil machine here. This is the machine that I started with. Like, for one, it's a tattoo machine.
Absolutely.
It ain't no tattoo gun. It's a machine. Gun shoot. We just stab you.
There we go.
So This is my core machine that I started with when I first started, like the little kit that I was telling y'all about, eBay.
Yeah.
This was it. This is what I started with.
Okay.
It's crazy because this is the baby that started it all, but it was also
the actual one.
Yeah, this is the actual one that I started with. Yeah, this is the first machine.
So that's the one you did the leg tap with.
Yeah.
We got history in here.
Painful.
Look.
Hopefully it'll be in a museum somewhere.
Framed it. Right,
yeah,
exactly. Look, you already in my head. Yeah, so tell me a little bit about what it does.
This is the core machine. This is a machine that uses needle and tubes, like receiving tubes. So you will put the needle and tube through here, and then you will adjust it, and you will put it on the back of this connector right here. And then right here, we will have the needle that hits this hit right here to make it vibrate and go, like to make the needle move back and forth. And it is powered by electricity, so you have to put like the clip cord on here at the bottom and hook it up to the power machine, and then the power supply, and then you would have to run it with a foot pedal. So to start it and stop it, you would need a foot pedal. It don't cut on and off by itself.
Oh my goodness.
So,
it's
core
like
machines.
sewing. It's like sewing.
Yeah, you have to keep the rhythm with it,
Absolutely.
So coil machines, it was the traditional way of doing everything. This is what started a lot of people.
Right.
And when it started to take off, when this was like kind of dying down, rotary started to take off.
Okay.
So rotary machines is the machines here that I had brought, and it doesn't have that needle that needs to hit like the coil machine. It's actually powered by a little motor, and it just keeps it going. But it also takes that clip cord, or it takes a RC or a DC cord.
Okay.
And the motor inside of it powers the machine to actually run versus needing a coil machine that has two coils on it to make it run.
Absolutely.
So the rotaries, they are way lighter. They're easier to maneuver and put like your cartridges and everything in. It's not as technical as the coil machine.
Right.
I would recommend it for starters. I honestly would.
The coil?
Rotaries.
The rotaries.
The rotaries I would, because especially if you're starting on your own like me, like when I taught myself, I think if I started with the rotary machines, it would have been easier on me because I had to learn how to use that. I had to learn how to tune it and how to put the receiving tube and the needle inside, because everything with the coil machine is manual.
Right.
So you have to break it down and put it together and everything like that. And then you also have to tune it, because when it gets to a point of use where you've used it a lot, that needle would kind of wear down, and you got to twist it and find that sweet spot so it's hitting the needle correctly to go into the skin.
Absolutely.
So if you don't have that sweet spot for that coil machine, you'll have a rough tattoo.
And what do you mean by rough tattoo?
You can chew some skin up and cause some really bad damage if you don't tune it right.
Oh my goodness.
And then now going to the rotary machine that I have now, which is Bishop. I love Bishop. I've been using this since 2019 and I haven't switched. I don't plan to switch. I love Bishop. And this is also their battery pack that goes on the back of it. So you have the choice to use it wirelessly and put the battery pack on the back, or you can use that same RC or DC cord that you use for that one, and then you can run the cord to a power supply and use that foot pedal. So it got kind of the traditional ways with it, like the coil machine. You can use the power supply and foot pedal with this one, but if you want to go wireless and you don't have to worry about cords and moving around, you put this battery pack on the back of it, and then just go.
How long does the battery last?
This has up to 12 hours of battery.
12 hours?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It has up to 12 hours.
You only need like 2 of those, right? You just need to recharge.
Yeah, I have 2 battery packs and 2 of those Bishop ones.
That's interesting. That is so good. So I have a few questions, and I'm not well versed in the tattoo world, but which one lasts the longest?
Honestly, my Bishop, this is the same Bishop that I've used since 2017.
Interesting.
So it lasts pretty good. As long as you don't bang it up, drop it, and like just neglect it, it'll last you a pretty long time.
So you would say for beginners not to start with Bishop, even though it's like the most technical.
It's one of the best machines out there, yes, but budget-wise and everything like that, I wouldn't start with it. I would start one of the more budget-friendly ones. Like I did, like the 2 smaller ones, I got those off of Amazon.
Let's go through, raise them up, and just say how much they cost. So we're starting with the old school. Yeah.
Old school.
Yeah.
So this one actually just came in a kit that I got off of eBay, and I think if I remember right, because it was 2013 when I started. If I remember right, the kit entirely was probably like $80, 80, $90, and it used to come with like needles and practice skins and stuff in there, which wasn't no good. It came with like little half-ounce ink bottles in there.
Right.
Ink wasn't no good. Wouldn't recommend it. Nope. So this was about like an $80 kit.
Okay, got it.
Which wasn't bad to start up with.
Okay.
And then when I started switching to the rotary one, this one was actually on Amazon, and it used to be maybe $30 with delivery fees.
Cheaper?
It was cheaper, yeah. But the thing is, you probably get a couple months out of it because these little motors do burn out fast, especially if you tattoo a lot. So if you somebody that goes steady and you always tattooing every day or at least weekly, these will burn out on you fast, and you'll have to get another one. So I recommend buying at least 2 or 3 at a time in case, because it will go out on you while you're tattooing.
Oh wow!
So if you don't have a backup, you just
out
of there.
Client
you
just got a half sleeve. Like,
basically,
ooh.
I've had it happen before, and I actually had backups because the person that told me about this one, he was like, always keep some because they'll go out at any time.
Shout out to the person that told you.
And I believe him, So, and with this one, I want to say I might have gotten it from a tattoo supply store locally out here, and this one was probably like 100 something.
100 for that one, and it's smaller than the 2 previous.
Yes.
That's interesting.
It's
what makes that one more expensive than those 2?
I would say, honestly, the way that it's built is more modern looking. It takes that DC or RC cord at the bottom, unlike this one. It takes the clip cord like the coil machine.
Absolutely.
So it's a cord that connects into these 2 little holes right here, and then it run out.
Oh,
with this one, it's like a RC or a DC cord that just plugs in the back of it.
That's dope. That's dope. Okay.
And then good old Bishop. This machine was about $800 after taxes.
$800.
And then the battery pack by itself is another $200.
Okay.
So it's not a set. You got to buy it individually.
So $1,000 altogether.
Roughly, yeah.
Yeah.
So if you're not tattooing steady or in a shop where you got consistent flow with your tattooing and making money, I wouldn't get that off the rip.
Right.
Unless you have a way to make your money back and make it worth the purchase.
Absolutely.
So I would start small and just work your way up, because that's what I did. Especially because it's not budget friendly. It's expensive. It's more on the expensive side because Bishop is a pretty big brand.
Right.
So I wouldn't start there. I wouldn't start with that.
That's
I would
what
definitely get
a lot
one
of
of those.
the pros are using.
Yeah, the sponsored artists and stuff. Yep, they use
the Bishop. Okay. Thank you for that. So you just dropped a lot of gems, but now we about to go into dropping gems. You ready for it?
I'm ready.
All right, y'all. Y'all know what it is. We are at our dropping gems segment, to where I ask questions that the audience may want to know. Let's get into it. You ready, Dom?
I'm ready.
All right, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. All right. So I know you had said like about the tattooing and things like that. Look, I'm still stuck on the fact that you might bite up somebody's skin. I'm scared.
Yeah, chew it up.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Lord, don't let that never happen to me. All right, let's get into dropping gems, y'all. Let's get into dropping gems. All right, so the first question I want to ask you are, what's some of the steps a new tattoo artist should take to becoming a qualified licensed artist?
Well, it's funny, in the state of Texas, they don't require us to be individually licensed.
Okay.
You just have to work in a tattoo shop that is licensed. So you basically under that business license.
Okay.
They try to make it where they're trying to make it now where each individual artist will be licensed, because it is some states that require us to be individually licensed, and some of them is just like Texas where the shop just got to be licensed.
Absolutely.
But they're trying to make it where we all be individually licensed, because say something go wrong and a client is really upset and they want to sue, they will come after my business license instead of you personally.
Yeah.
So now they're trying to take the responsibility away from business owners in case somebody messes up and do something really bad, or like scar them really bad, infection, stuff like that. You can go individually after that person instead of the business.
That's interesting. Yeah, that's interesting. So, I mean, and this is just a personal question coming from me. Does the shop have insurance?
Yes.
So that you're covered, when you're working in that shop, you're covered by the shop's insurance?
Yes.
Okay.
So like, but with the insurance, it's more so on the equipment side or the building side of it. So like, say if it's like a fire or somebody break in and steal everything, vandalism, stuff like that, they cover stuff like that.
Okay.
They don't cover the personal issues, like if you was to mess somebody's skin up, that would just be civil. You'll have to deal with that one-on-one. They don't cover stuff like that.
Yeah, they don't cover stuff like that, and they make that clear in the writing, I'm pretty sure.
They tell you what's covered and what's not covered.
Right, and that's great, okay. All right, y'all, we dropping gems. Let's move on to the next one, all right? So, how important is it to know your ink and which skin tone to apply it on?
It's really important, because depending on the tone of your skin, whether it's on the darker side or the lighter side, you have to be able to match those hues with the person's skin tone because it has undertones, and just like people's skin, you have to match those undertones with the best ink so that way they don't clash when they heal. So for example, if somebody have green undertones or yellow undertones and they also fair skinned or they a little bit on the dark skin side, you wouldn't want to use that color because when it heals, it's just gonna look like their skin. Those yellow undertones blended with that yellow ink and it's like it was never there. So you have to really know color theory behind doing color, and it'll take you far if you really understand color theory and matching those tones with those colors and understanding undertones. So it's scientific. It go into the little science side of it.
Y'all hearing it first from a legend now. Come on, this is gems right here. Look, we in it now. Look, we in it. So I got a personal question on the B side of that, right? So I see a lot of people, they get color ink. Is that also a part of the color theory, like knowing which color ink to apply to which skin tone? Is that like a thing? Like how do you, say for instance, if somebody comes in, they're like, I want some color ink, I want red. Like how would you be able to pick which red works for this particular person?
Honestly, just again, checking those undertones, because if they have red undertones, you want to stay away from that color as close to those undertones as possible. A lot of times you might have to use like a deeper red, then you would want to use those vibrant reds. And then a lot of times you have to mix colors together too to get the tone that you want, because not all colors exist that you would like to tattoo with. So it is a thing of mixing colors to get the color that you want. So sometimes you got to be a little chemist and mix them together to get the color that you need, that you know is going to last on their skin longevity. That's what you always want to think about. It lasting and being there forever, and it's something that they happy with.
Right.
So you got to sometimes be a chemist and mix them together to get what you need.
You got to become a chemist. Y'all got to mix it up. If you mix it wrong, we sending you home.
I will use it. I will use it.
Look, Creative Chronicles, copyright. But look,
That's crazy.
so let's go into the next one, all right? We're going to go into the next one. Y'all getting these gems, dollars, giving it to y'all, all right? So how do you know what to charge as a tattoo artist?
That one is a hard one, because I remember quoting used to be one of my struggles, because I would quote somebody something, but I'm thinking where I am in my career at that time frame and the knowledge that I know and what I can and can't do. So in my mind, I'm like, I don't want to overcharge for this, but I want to get it under my belt because I ain't never did it. So it's like, at the same time, it's like, you got to just let them know, like, this is not something that I've done, but it's something that I've always wanted to do. I'm willing to do it for this if you're willing to be that client, to give me that practice and to at least get it under my belt to see if it's something that I would like doing.
Fire.
So it's like, it's kind of hard when it comes to quoting, because you don't want to underquote yourself, but you also want to quote right around where you know where your skill set is. Because it is a lot of artists out there that just started maybe 2 years ago, and they already trying to charge $1,000 for a piece. You ain't even there yet.
You're not even there yet.
But because they surrounded by people that's charging those prices, they think they fit in that criteria.
Absolutely.
They don't want to start from the bottom where you got to work for $50, $100. And that's why I started at doing $100 deals, $50 deals, $25 tats. I started at the bottom.
Right.
So it's like, you just got to work your way up, and you just got to stay within your skill set. Don't try to jump too far ahead.
Absolutely. There you go. Y'all dropping gems. I know that was a big one for our tattoo artists, I'm pretty sure. Because like you said, they hear their colleagues like charging all these.
Making money.
Right, you're making money. And of course, we all want to make some money, right? But the thing is, you said it. You got to work your way up.
Exactly. You got to know where to start.
So that was a good one. That was a good one. We dropping gems, y'all. We're going to go into the final question here. Could you educate us on the difference between a coil machine and a rotary machine? And you did that there, but I want you to really tell us the pros and the cons of each, because of course I've seen both still active even today. So give us pros and cons of both, the rotary and the coil machine.
Well, with the coil machine, I do know the cons with it is the tuning of it, especially if you are self-taught like me and you don't even understand what tuning is or how to put those receiving tubes together with the needle and tubes. It's pretty hard to try to learn. And then you also have to learn voltage, you have to turn it up and down. So with the coil machine, I would say the cons is the tuning, the manual of like putting your needles and tubes together, because it don't come together for you. You have to put it together. And then also the weight of it, the coil is really, really heavy on your wrist. So you have to balance out that weight on top of keeping it tuned, always putting the needle and tube together. So I would say the cons of it is, I personally wouldn't take to coil machines as my go-to machine, just off the strength of how manual it is. I don't like the manual side of it and then the weight of it. But the pros of it is just you knowing, I guess, the history behind it and how to use it, because that was the traditional way of starting tattoos before rotaries even came about. So it's good to know the history behind it, where it started, who created it, stuff like that. But the pros of the cons is the weight and the manual behind it. I don't like it.
Copy that.
So,
yeah.
but with the rotary, it's lightweight, so that's a pro. It can be wireless, and I love that because I move around a lot. A lot of times I got to turn my clients around and move them to a different spot, and I don't have to worry about moving a bunch of cords. It's also easier when it comes to the needles because it's a cartridge and it already comes put together in with membranes and everything. So you just take it out the pack and you just pop it in and you just turn it on and you just go.
That's fire. Yeah.
But the con of it, I would say, is the prices. All of them is usually on the expensive side if you want a good one. So I would say just the cons of it is the pricing, and then also having to keep it charged.
Right.
Because you can have a long day. Like I do a lot of tap outs.
Right.
So
and could you explain what a tap out is to
A
those
tap
that
out
don't know? Yeah, I know what it is.
So a tap out is basically where you go and you be in one session, and it can be 8 hours, it can be 10 hours, 12 hours, just depending on what you set your tap outs to be with a set price. And for me, because people do tap outs different, I have 3 set rules. With a tap out, it's either you tap out because you can't take the pain no more. We either finish all the pieces that you wanted done within that time frame, or we use all the time and then we just run out of time.
Right.
So it's either you can finish it in time, we don't have enough time, or you tap out.
Absolutely.
But tap outs is basically where you just sit in one session and you just get tattooed for 10 hours straight and see if you can sit through the whole thing or not.
Yeah. Huh?
That just sound crazy to me.
Oh, okay, boy, look, bro, I'm like, geez.
I thought I did something wrong.
Right, bro, me too. I'm like, what's going on? Bring us back. Where were we? Yeah,
So
we gotta finish.
So
we gotta
say
finish
example,
that.
I did a tap out and it was a long day. I've been tattooing. I didn't finish till 10, 11, 12 o'clock at night. I'm tired. I done went home, forgot to plug it up, and I got another tattoo at 12 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
Now I got to try to wing it and try to stall the time and talk to the client and this and that to give it some kind of charge because I forgot to charge it last night. So that's another one of the cons. You can forget to charge if you had a long day.
Right.
But that's why it's good to have 2. I have 2 of those battery packs. So if one is dead, I know I got another fully charged one. And then I just charge that one.
That's fine.
So it's always good to have 2 of them just in case.
Just in case.
Because you have those long days where you forget. So
I do it all the time. I forget to charge the cameras and I'll be having to shoot the next day. I'll be
Exactly.
like, all the cameras dead, y'all. I need like 2 hours. You know what I mean? So I get it. But that was really good and enlightening. Now, a bonus question, right? This is coming from me. Because I've seen this in the tattoo world, right?
Okay.
So I was up in Chicago and I walked in on the shop, right? And this was my first tattoo ever. This is what happened to me. So I walked in and this girl could not take the pain. She was screaming like in pain. How do you deal with the ones that want it so bad? They're like, no, stop, but they can't handle the pain. How do you deal with that as a tattoo artist?
Well, I know one ways of doing it is, well, how I do it is I give unlimited breaks. Like, I'll stop as many times as you need me to, because I'd rather you be comfortable and be able to get through it than you to be sitting up there screaming, kicking, and crying like a kid because I'm just torturing you. I'll stop as many times as you need to. So that's one way to go about it. If you one of those artists that's willing to give them breaks, they really appreciate it in the end. Another way to kind of soothe the anxious client or a client that just seem like they beyond like getting the tattoo finished, you can use numbing cream. So the numbing cream can be used either before the tattoo and you apply it, and then, or you can actually apply it when you're getting the tattoo done. And it actually activates faster because the skin is already broken, so it has a wound to seep into.
Absolutely.
So you can use numbing cream. It's also numbing sprays.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's stuff out there now that can help soothe you and help you get through another 30 minutes to an hour to get that tattoo finished.
All right, y'all. For those out there that need that numbing cream, look, I've been hearing about y'all. I see the video where dude got his like tattoo wipe and he was like shaking.
I will never let a client get to that point, because at that point they potentially going into shock and it can turn medical. We can turn into like doctors and nurses. Like, we have clients that passes out because they haven't eaten anything, they haven't drinking anything, so they just going off nothing. We also have clients that are diabetic, and if they don't eat and have their sugar intake, they can pass out. Like, it's so much that go into tattooing. We nurses, we doctors, we therapists, because it can be a vent session. It can be a lot.
Oh my goodness. Look, y'all. Look, there's so many gems that could be dropped in here, like, you know what I mean? And she just gave y'all so much. And I gave y'all a bonus. So y'all better thank me later, all right? So that's our segment for dropping gems. Look, we can have you here all day because I know your expertise is just up there, just from all those years of experience. But we about to roll into the next one. We got something called Creative Blitz.
Okay.
You ready for it?
I'm ready.
We about to ask some questions. Now, y'all, she put pressure on me. Talking about I better
Question
I did
better be
my research now.
You better be right.
I'm on it. Look, let's get into it, y'all. We about to go into the Creative Blitz. Let's do it. Let's do it. Dow, you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, let's do this. Let's do this. So, the first question I'm about to ask you is, you receive an email from a trucking company saying they'll offer you $50 million to quit tattooing the only truck. You taking it or what you doing? Yes, no, sorry, maybe. 50 mil? Come on.
Maybe.
Hey, okay, now.
Maybe, but I got something behind it though as to why.
Yeah.
Because I actually will be starting my own trucking company after this,
right.
and I plan to retire at some point. I don't want to be tattooing forever. So it's a potential depending on what they're talking. Because they putting me in line to do something I was going to do anyway.
Absolutely.
So it's a maybe.
But we got an exclusive. I don't think the world knew that, right?
Nah, it's not too many people know about my trucking company.
I know that's right. And you retiring also as well from tattooing.
Yeah.
All right, nah, I ain't mad at it. 50 million, a lot of money now. You better take it if they know that.
You know what to do with it.
Right.
You can make it more than that. So maybe.
Look, okay, let's do it. Would you take $25,000 or a master training class with Faith Hudgens, and you can't use the money to buy the master class? You taking it? Yes, no, sorry, maybe.
Nah, I'm going with Faith. I'm going with Big Mama. I'm going with Big Mama.
Look, you said, nah, huh? Okay. I love it. So ain't no money in the world that can buy that. All right, cool.
Not that knowledge.
Right. Could you explain a little bit who Faith is as well?
Faith is a very, very popular artist, more up north. She has color theory down to the science, it almost seems like. She's one of those artists that can tattoo pretty much anything on colored people. Like, if you want it, she can do it. And it's always vibrant, it's always solid and saturated.
Absolutely.
Like, she just displays like she know what she's doing.
Right.
And I would love to do a one-on-one with her one day, if possible. Because she just got it down to a science, and I really believe that if I take that one-on-one from her, my color and tattoos would just take off. And it's not even the amount of money you can put behind it to know that kind of knowledge, to even get to where she is.
Oof. Continue to be a sponge, dog.
Always.
You're gonna reach the top, girl. Continue to be the sponge. Y'all see that humbleness? All right, we're gonna go into the next one, all right? So you have front row tickets with backstage access to a Her concert. But Bruno Mars just walked into your shop. You going to the concert? Yes, no, sorry, maybe. It's Bruno now. Bruno don't even get tattoos.
What time is the concert?
No,
What time is the concert?
no, you can't make more. Look, Bruno like, hey, you take me or you leave me. What's going on?
Nah, I'm going to my wife's concert.
Hey, I know that's right. Shout out to her. Let's do it. So you going to her concert?
I'm going to her concert.
Hey, you a big fan?
Absolutely.
Oh, I know that's right. But passing up on Bruno. You know what?
You never know. You never know. Them two might be in a room together where it can line up something else later on.
Say that. And that's how you do it too, because you got backstage access.
I might become a personal tattoo artist.
Yeah.
So you never know.
All right now, look, okay. So, last and final question. You are at your son's spelling bee championship, and Kevin Leroy calls you saying he would like for you to tag Chris Brown for him because he can't make it. You going? Yes, no, sorry, maybe. Once in a lifetime experience. Chris Brown can take it all the way there if you get a tattoo. You tag Chris? Breezy?
You wanna know what's crazy? I ain't going to that spelling bee. Let me just bring it up. And I got a reason why. Because my son loved both Bruno Mars and Chris Brown.
Hey, yo.
He loved to dance.
So he'll be like, go
right
ahead.
There with me.
He gonna be like, go ahead,
He going with me.
Go ahead.
He ain't gonna care about the spelling words.
Look,
he gonna wanna know what those conversations was like to meet them. He ain't gonna care about that spelling bee.
I love it. Look, hey, now look, I know that's a tough one.
It was tough.
Cool, you just got Chris Breezy just waiting. He got tattoos.
I'm taking my son with me. Y'all want me to come?
You
He
like,
gotta
come on.
go.
Yeah. Ooh.
Opportunity of a lifetime.
Big mama said, come on. Mama said, come on, let's do this. We about to go tag Chris Breezy.
He going.
And you know how to make the right decisions, Mama. All right? Yo, that was crazy, y'all. Creative Bliss, man, Dow killed it. Y'all hear the answers, man. Look, she went too crazy. Y'all make sure y'all tune in. Y'all see the loyalty. Y'all see what she was doing. Son, look, he going to see Chris Brown get the tattoo.
He gonna forget all about this.
Right? I know that's right. So we're gonna roll into our next segment. This segment is important to me because it's called Love is Free, where we giving love and enlightenment to a fellow creative, all right? Because the thing is, it don't cost nothing to show some love to one another, and it's enough in it for everybody, all right? So you got an opportunity to shout out one creative off the top of your head that you want to show some love to. You can shout them out, tell everybody what they do, and where to find them.
It gotta be just one.
Just one. That's what make it hard, don't it?
Ooh.
Yeah.
If I had to do one, it'll probably be Amani Trey Niner. He's based out of Indiana, a dope individual. He do more than just be creative on social media. He also speak gems on life. He give like life advice, creative advice, marketing advice, social media advice. He just all around just rounded with knowledge and just has so much to give. I've had a personal conversation with him myself, and he's just a dope individual, and I can't wait to meet him. He's actually supposed to be at my tattoo expo in March. So I can't wait to meet him in person, just have that real one-on-one time with him and talk to him.
Amani Trey Niner, that brother is gonna be, look, he gonna be at your show. We manifesting that here now. He already bought the ticket?
No, he's already gonna be there. It's already sealed.
So this is gonna be your first time meeting him?
Yeah.
Turn up. Let's do it. So Love is Free. Look, Amani Trey Niner, I'm gonna let everybody know to follow you, brother. You keep doing what you're doing, shed light on the world. Look, let's go ahead and wrap up this show. Man, look, we could be here all day, dog. All day. Look, you keep doing what you're doing in the community for those women at the shop.
Shout out to Maddie, Kyra, Tony, Bubbles, Crayola, Ari, Jazz, Tina, and Brenda and Damie.
Ooh-wee. What's your shop name? Give the people your lowdown on this shop, where they can find it, and where they can find you on social media.
We are located in Addison, Texas. We actually just moved. I know a lot of y'all familiar with our old location being in Dallas, but we just moved to Addison in September. So we had a new location in Addison. And then you can also find us on Instagram at Dolls House of Ink or at Artists of Dolls House of Ink. That's our artist page that just display everybody at the shop. So you can find us either on both pages and also in Addison.
There we go. All right. Look, Dallas, it's been a pleasure. You know what? Let's get about it. Look, we about to get a drink. Look, I'm out here in Dallas. Creative Chronicles is on tour. I'm your host, Dee Boogie Brown. Make sure y'all tune in. Look, go ahead and let them know. We about to get up out of here. Peace.
See y'all later.